Hello to all you yids out there. This is the Heart Now Here Spurs fans podcast. A podcast from a bunch of yids to all you yids around the world. And yids, I mean, oh, look at our faces. If you're watching us, we're across every platform. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast, you can hear it in my voice and you're going to hear it in the guys. But unfortunately, we broke another stat today. We are the first Premier League team to lose a game when being 2-0 up. And we're the first to do it 10 times. A first half performance that was beautiful and looked like it was building upon everything that's been going well over the last 5 games, came crashing down in 45 minutes, and we lost to Brighton 3-2. It's myself, Lee Tarrier, with Matty, TJ, and Kev. Boys, I don't know what to say. Sometimes it's hard to do this podcast. It's going to be one of those nights. But Matty, I mean, we were in the room. We didn't know what to say, did we, mate?
Yeah, Lee, is Matt's face red because of the colour of the filter thing he's got on, or is he actually red because he's fucking embarrassed? He's fucking bright red.
I don't know, it might be the brightness of the camera, but Lee, thanks for coming for me first, mate. You could have gone for someone else first, man.
Sorry, it's because we were the first in the waiting room to do the live, and I know we started talking. I said, "Right, go on, you've got it." I mean, what can we say? This is the problem.
I don't know, but we've got to say something, haven't we? Like, what do we do? First half, we were brilliant, and I think maybe when we used to say we need to score the second goal to see the game out, maybe we need to score the third and fourth now. Like, when does it change? Do you know what, though? The second half, I don't think no one predicted that. 18 minutes, 3 goals we conceded. We just absolutely folded. It was embarrassing. I don't think you can blame Ange. I think he was thinking, first half, brilliant performance, go out and do exactly the same, get the third, let's go for it again. But boys, we just absolutely folded. Mistake after mistake. Like, that's probably the worst I've seen Ndogi and Van der Ven play ever.
Man.
You know?
TJ, I mean, like Matt's saying there, you think it's just go out and do the same. It feels like we do one lapse in concentration that causes us to be on the back foot, and we lose our head. It's like a boxer that gets hit, and then their lights are nothing behind the eyes, and they're trying to survive and they're struggling.
Lee, I'm going to set the scene for you, mate. Yeah, so it's Sunday in the house. I've got my cousin, his missus, and they've got 3 boys, right? So like they've obviously not all at once like me, but they've got 3 boys. So they've come round, and she's done a beef stew, right? Beef stew. All sat down, had the beef stew, sat down. I'm sitting there, put on another half a stone, don't care because Spurs are playing. And then and then they come on, absolutely play fucking prime Brazil. And I'm like, done, it's done. Like 2 goals. I'm like, oh mate, Johnson again, 6 in 6. Can't wait to get on the podcast. Anyway, the missus shouts out, apple crumble for dessert. I went, it's all over. I went, that's it. I went, Spurs are just that's Spurs. Fucking crumbled, mate. Unbelievable. Like the contrast of 2 halves. The same happened last year, but not like that. Did
that apple crumble go up the wall?
Fucking did it. I didn't even eat it. I didn't even get anywhere near the dessert, mate.
Lost your appetite,
Left the room, went for an early bath. Yeah, mate, it was just, I couldn't believe it. Like, honestly, the contrast in the 2 halves. You've gone from the press in the first half was fucking impeccable. Like, we hunted their players. Like, we wanted that ball. We just took it to them. Their fans didn't have nothing. All you heard was Tottenham fans singing. I was like, this is gonna be a walk in the park. What the fuck were in them oranges at half time? Seriously, what the fuck happened? I can't work it out. I'm like, the tone of my voice, I know it's like sort of like jokey, but I was livid. Absolutely. I was like, I've just watched them go 1-0 down from a silly mistake, then another silly mistake, and then it gets through again. It's all, the ball's popping up and they're just fucking watching it go through. I was like, oh, I can't believe it. And listen, we've got to just eat it. Like, you just got to eat that one. There's nothing you can do. You just got to take that one. Like it's
unlike the crumble. Unlike the crumble.
Unlike my crumble that got fucking chucked, mate. It was yeah, it was just listen. I'm not gonna be too hard on them, but it's
too hard.
Mate,
mate. That's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing, but we actually had a great first half. I just it's something in the DNA at Spurs, you know. I don't know what it is. I really don't. Like this don't happen to anyone else. Like how'd you go from absolutely dominating to capitulating in the 20-minute spell and then never getting it back either? It was like we just didn't show up in the second half at all. Can't work it out, man. Honestly, I'm going to be the most confused I've ever been on this podcast. I've no idea what to say about it.
Yeah.
I think we all are. I mean, big love to everybody in the chat. Dorothy Musial says, shocked and angry. I know we are Spursy at times, but this is too much. Ash Rock 1977 said, all the great work last week. I'm done in 20 minutes. Mick TFC, big love. You're on there. Ronnie P90, Ma01. Lukey Wilt says, classic Tottenham shit on our own. Oh, Regan W90 says, where do you even start?
Shit on our own. Shit on our own.
I mean,
brilliant.
Mate, Kev, it's hard to take, but I mean, the thing is, and we've said it a few times, we said it against Newcastle, we said it in places against Arsenal, and you've got to look at it. This first half was brilliant, and that's why it's even harder to take, right?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think what Tej is saying there is like if you can't laugh and joke about it now, you'll end up smashing your fucking house up. And don't get me wrong, that's where I was a little while ago, but I've had an hour to sit there and take it all in and realise,
Kev, it's funny you say that because I slammed the door so hard I took the handle with me. I fucking walked off with the handle after slamming the door. I was like, slam the door and fucking handle come with me.
Yeah, no, it was definitely one of them where you sort of I've had time to chill out, and I think I've just realised, this is what we are, and this is where we are as Spurs fans. And I mean, listening to Berbatov talk at the end there, he's like, this has been there through lots of periods at different times of Spurs, and nothing really changes at the moment. Like you said, Lee, I think the toughest part of it was the first half performance. The run we was on in terms of wins, especially the United game last week, and obviously winning in a hostile reception abroad. I thought, maybe we was on to something, and Maddison said it at the end of the game. You sort of took 2 steps back now. So yeah, that's obviously the hardest part to take is what everyone's saying. It's how good you can be first half, and going there at half time, full well knowing that they're going to roll their sleeves up and have a go, and it's how much you can take the punches, as you said. And we obviously have got a glass chin and we couldn't fucking take the punches. And that's obviously a mentality issue that's always been there. And we was hoping this kind of manager would be able to stamp that out. Is it down to a certain player profile we have in the team? I think I put it down to inexperience today, youthful arrogance of going in at half time. I mean, Matt, like you coach kids, and that's what we expect of our kids when they play football. They go in at half time 3 or 4-0 up and they think the game's won. At that level, for me, I don't think you can do that, especially against a team like Brighton, away from home as well. And I think you saw that in a lot of performances from certain players in that second half who decided to go in there at half time and have an orange that was full of arrogance and come out the second half and obviously got found out. And I'll name a few. Mickey van der Ven was one. Adogi was one. Benson Kerr was one, even though he had a bit of that in the first half. Timo Werner. I think there was a lot of them that just decided that they didn't fancy it in the second half when their back was against the ropes. And that's really, really disappointing. And from supporters that we are, and a lot of boys and girls that we know that have gone up there today, I think they might have expected a bit more resilience in some of them players. But again, today I think it showed that there was a lot of inexperience in the side in a moment of a game conceding at 2-1, especially that early, and you knew that they was going to come out swinging and you didn't punch back. And that's the problem, that we got knocked out. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, that is the hard part about it. It feels like there's times, as I said earlier on, when if you put that boxing analogy to it, that we get hit and we sort of don't know where to go next. Ange was dumbfounded. What he said at the end, he said it's his most crushing defeat out of all of them that he's had since Spurs managers. His worst defeat. But do we miss someone, Matt, that says roll up the sleeves at this point? Are we missing that leader? You know, I know we've got some captains in there, and I think they probably lead by example. When you look at Maddison, obviously today, but Son, you know, when he plays as well. Like, are we missing somebody?
Lee, I don't think them players that you mentioned there, Lee, are the sort of players to roll up their sleeves in a game 2-1 and go, right, lads, get yourselves fucking sorted. I'm talking more like of a Roy Keane sort of type.
Exactly that.
And I think we lack maybe an experienced player in there, maybe like a 30-year-old that could come on and go, right, let's fucking level this out. Let's get our heads sorted. I just don't think we have that player, even amongst the captains. And I'm even putting Romero in that. I expect Romero to be maybe one of the senior ones that stands up and goes, right, let's get ourselves sorted. And I don't think that was there today. And I think that's the reason why we lost the game.
And that's the thing. I think we are missing that kind of player. Because we do look so good, you know, at patches. Matt, do you think that we're at the moment that we're a team that are able to do as good as we look for 90 minutes? You know, do you think we're near there? Because there's a lot in place. We've seen today the first half. There is a lot to admire and people purring over us. But the second half is the Jekyll and Hyde. What Tottenham clearly do, but how far do you think we're away from being able to grasp scenarios like this and make these just a bad day at the office and not let it happen again?
I think to win trophies and to compete, you need to be solid defensively, don't you? Otherwise, if you're going to keep leaking goals, you're not going to do that. And I feel like we do leak goals. I think it's just an 18 minutes of madness of football, like literally just 18 minutes of madness. Like even when they've made it 4-1 and then 2-1, sorry, and then Kulu tries to play the ball across to Solanke, it's just overhit. Just small margins, but it's just 18 minutes of just madness.
Yeah, Matt, what about after 3-2 down? Did you see enough from the net?
We didn't have anything. We didn't really like scoring. There was nothing there. But I don't know what it is. But defensively, we need to be more clever. If we are 2-0 up at half time, I guarantee you, that lot down the road, if they were 2-0 up at Brighton, they would have gone solid second half and just counter-attack Brighton. They would have gone and conceded in the 47th minute. Not a chance. I just think maybe just too naive at times. But I think everyone was thinking we're just going to go out and play again in the second half, and it just didn't happen, mate. We just got blown away, mate. Just crumbled, man.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's hard to say much more than that. We are all sort of singing from the same hymn sheet, as is everyone on the chats. Big love to everyone on there. P Master 018. Yanni says, "Why do we make a sub so late?" Lukey Wilk says, "Look, we've got to move on. Don't dwell. It's hard not to as a yid, but you have to." Big up Liz Nurk, Phil Noddy, Tom Courtney 14, Brandon PW04. Ives Decorating Service Limit says, "Got to be the mentality of the players. We all know how Ange wants to play. He didn't send them out to fold." And with moments like this, I know it's hard to take now, TJ, but do you think they would have learned something today that they've got to buck their ideas up, or do you see this trend coming regularly still going forward after the break?
It's a tough one because we've seen these moments happen, not necessarily such a capitulation like that, but we have seen moments in games where this happens to us. Yeah. Like we get caught out, we switch off. This isn't something new in the Ange philosophy, right? Like we go out there to play ultra attacking, ultra pressing football, high lines. You can see what he's trying to do. That leaves us exposed at the back. But I feel like there is something where, like Kev said, there needs to be someone that looks at that and goes, "Boys, fucking sort it out now. That's fucking one. We ain't having no more. Let's go. Let's go again." I don't feel like there's anyone in that team that's going to do that. And that's probably my issue. Whether it's something that it's going to, I think that will hurt. That's going to hurt them boys, yeah, driving back tonight. They're going to feel that one. And what's worse is the international break. So they're going to go off and they're not even going to come back and get another chance. You know, you want to play your Europa League game now. You're like, come on, let's fucking get that one. Let's put that one back out. Do you know what I mean? Let's get that one behind. Let's get another win on the board. It's annoying. I think it's probably the worst time and worst way we could have lost. Because you're going into that break now and that's all you're left with. Like they go away to their internationals and they're not going to be right there, and then they come back and it's like fucking Brighton and it's West Ham next as well. So yeah, like I don't think it's going to be something that sticks, but there is definitely something there that needs rectifying, and we've been saying it all season. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I hate this Spursy thing, but I seem like it feels like we're the only team that do this. Like I don't know anyone else that does this. Like where they just consistently are consistently inconsistent. Do you know what I mean? Like you have the performances like you do. Listen, we've been inconsistent, but we've just been fucking inconsistent in one game. 2 halves, totally different. Like there's something going on there, and I don't know what it is. I think Ked's right. I think there's something like mentally there where players have probably already put the 3 points in their pocket and they've switched off a little bit in the game.
Definitely.
And I think that was today.
Sorry, sorry, mate. Yeah, I also think that a massive part of it is, listen, the top teams in that league or top teams in Europe will control a game like that in one half and be able to still win that game in the second half, even though a storm is coming. And I think that is where we have to be realistic as Spurs supporters, and where we are is that we can't manage them games out. We don't have the, like you said, the leadership. I don't think we have the quality. I feel like these players. Pardon?
Is that a tactical thing though? Is that where he's sitting there and going to him, "This is how I want you to play. I don't care what the score is. Continue playing."
I just listened to the Brighton manager, and he said there was no tactical thing at half time. It was get out there, roll your sleeves up, and have a fucking go. If I manage at half time, I'm telling them to get ready for it, get ready for a war, because it's going to happen. You'll get your chances because of the way they play, and they're also committing even more forward because they're trying to get back into the game. What I think is that Ange maybe said the right things at half time, but once they leave that tunnel, for me, they're on their own, and they don't have a captain type like a Roy Keane to get them organised on the pitch. I think we're at a stage of very youthful players, not all youthful. There's still some in there that I expect better of in terms of senior. Not experienced enough, what I'm meaning in a 31, 32, 33-year-old type. But I feel like they're sort of, once they come out from the tunnel half time, they're kind of left on their own, and they've got to work out how to win a game on their own. And that for me, that comes with being a top footballer, being clever and having experience, and we don't have that. And that's why I think that's the reason why we got punished. But I think on today's evidence, we have to really realise where we are as a team, and whether it's a project and we're trying to get somewhere. At this point, we can't see a game out away at being 2-0 up at half time. And the problem is, and that for me now, that's going to put a bit of worry in going away again and being at half time. The next away game, we go 2-0 up at half time. Not one supporter in that away end will think that we're going to win that game. And that is a Spursy mentality as a supporter as well, that you never know when the game is up. I'll be honest with you, after previous results at 2-0 half time, I thought we would have seen that out. You know what I mean? We were fucking ruthless in that first half. We were so good. I mean, if I didn't have my kids sitting there watching it with me, I might have got my knob out and had a wank. It was that great to watch. I mean, it was some of the best football I've seen this year. It was the way we zipped it about off the touch, the flicks around the corner, mate. It was really, really good. It's probably better than Man United in some aspects that first half.
Yeah.
So to flip it around the second half for me was like crushing. And I mean, I've had a fucking couple of glasses of wine since that, so I'm maybe chilled out. But I'm sure when I wake up tomorrow morning, I'm going to be back to fucking seething about it. But we are where we are. They need to pick themselves up and go again. But what you asked TJ there, do you think it's going to be a pattern? I'm not convinced that they're going to be able to, sort of click on from that and for it not to happen again. I don't feel like we're there as a team for it not to happen again. It probably will happen again, but obviously we hope not. But I don't know, boys. It's just a tough one to take, really.
It is tough. I mean, the one thing, and that's what I'm saying, I sort of want to bring a slight positive to it. Like you just said, some of that football was fantastic, and there is sight of that, and that I think we've got to keep. I think the thing that I've seen and I felt it against Brentford when I was there, watched the only game I've watched live in the ground this season, but I've seen it obviously with the different games on TV, we have between a 45 and 60-minute game where we are top notch, and at the moment I just feel there isn't a 90-minute game in us where it's full of energy, full of the right ability, full of the right determination, full of the right concentration. And I do believe it's going to come, but I do believe we there needs to be a bit more of a leader on the pitch that helps that, like you say, a Keane-esque type player. I think a number 6 is really important at some point. I wouldn't mind, you know how we got Nabet back in the day and it really helped King. I wouldn't mind someone coming in being a Scotty Parker like he did.
Problem is, that's not the club's ethos. The club's ethos isn't to bring and go and pay 25 million for a 31, 32-year-old. It's all about breeding young players and in your early 20s and making them stars as a project kind of type. I remember what you're saying there about Nabet. That guy coming at 33, 34 when we were really shit, and he made us solid, I thought. And that was a kind of Glenn Hoddle era where he brought Poyet, Ferdinand, Sheringham all in, and it kind of helped some of the young players. I don't think we're that club anymore. I think we look at senior players in terms of Bentancur, Romero, them sort of 26, 27-year-olds. And like you're saying, I do think we need a 31, 32-year-old to come on. Problem is today, I looked at that bench, even when they were knocking on the door at 2-1, 2-2, I didn't see nothing on that bench that could help us in any way, at the way the game was. If we were 3 or 4 up, I can see players coming on, getting minutes, getting experience. But when the game got tough, I didn't see any players. I mean, at one point I was thinking maybe we should bring Sarah, maybe he'll help us out. And then realistically, I'm thinking, I don't think he can change it. And you look at all the best teams in the world, they have, I mean, I don't want to mention Arsenal, but they have a Jorginho type. Man City will have a Rodri type. Real Madrid have a Modric type. You know, them sort of experienced players just to bring on, just to see games out, just to level it. And we don't have that. And the longer we don't have that, I think this would happen more often.
Do you know what else though as well, Lee and Kev? I think it is that we can't deal with the shock. That's the problem as well. Like we dominate games and we have these possessions, and then all of a sudden, bang, one mistake, goal, and everyone's like, fuck. And then it almost seems like they lose a bit of confidence to go forward and play the ultra attacking role and the ultra high press. 100%. We got that one. They hit us that one goal, and then all of a sudden you see the high press start dropping back to the halfway line, and now we're not pressing them on their box. We start pressing them on the halfway line, and that's bringing them forward. And that for me was the biggest change and the biggest shift when they scored. And that's something that's where you're missing that person that Kev's talking about. Someone's go, boys, we're too deep. Get forward. We're back on the high press. It's happened. Move on. Composure, exactly.
Everybody shit themselves to me. I mean, everyone shit themselves, and you could see that in their play on their first touch when they're overplaying. They're trying to turn in silly moments in silly parts of the pitch, and they literally just bottled it. And I'm looking at that Brighton team, and I'm thinking, I don't see anyone to be to lose my bottle over, but they allowed that to happen, and they all folded up, and I'm like, that's not the Tottenham. I mean, I've always said that under Postecoglou in recent years, we've always had a bit of character. And when the games got tougher, we've got certain moments of games, I could always feel we'd pull it out. But every time they scored 2-1 and 2-2, I knew where it was going. And then at 3-2, I ain't gonna lie, I was absolutely shocked that we didn't even give it a fucking go. You know, we're looking at 82 minutes. Romero, listen, I know it's his style. He likes to hold on to the ball at centre half, likes to wait for a pass. But this is like 82, 83, 84, 85. We're trying to get back in the game. I've done fuck all in the second half. I'm like, let's play forward. Let's try to go a bit quicker. Let's try and stun them with something. And they ended up just sitting in and absorbing everything, and there was no movement around. And I think that was more disappointing in the second half, back conceding the goals, was there was nothing there to have a go. There was no balls in there to even have a proper go at it, even at 2-2 or 3-2. And that was the alarming thing I thought out of the game.
Well, this is it, lads. I mean, we could stay as shocked. I mean, there's bits we've loved, a lot of it we hate, definitely the scoreline, but there are 3 awards that we normally give out, and we'll try and do them today. Matty, man of the match, can you find one?
These are so hard, isn't it?
Mate, I'll probably give it to Solanke. I don't think he stopped running, and I think he was involved in both goals. Other than that, I don't think he played brilliant, but I feel like I can only give it to him, really. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, he had 10 touches in the second half and 4 of them from kickoffs. Crazy though, isn't it? It's such
Fucking hell.
horrible. Yeah, Sky put it out in Opta, but TJ,
Lee, I think that shows you the contrast to the first half and second half. Because like Matt's saying, he was involved in quite a bit in the first half. So when he's not having touches in the second half, what does that tell you about our attacking prowess in that second half?
Yeah. Mad. Tej, who are you going for? You got anyone different?
Johnson for 6 and 6. Nothing else. Like,
I'm really happy about that.
It was a great first half. Like if you're looking at the 45 minutes on its own, it was fantastic. And there were some really standout players in that first half. Like I thought Maddison was really good. I thought Johnson got in good positions. I even thought Werner stretched the game a lot, but I still don't think he's. I said it in the chat. I said he couldn't assist an old girl across the road. Like he's that bad. He just can't put it. Like he just can't do it. Like it's. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, for me, Johnson.
Yeah, I thought it might be that. Kev, anyone else, mate?
Oh, do you know what, mate? I thought the first half, they was all fucking on par with each other. I think Bentancur maybe was the only one who I didn't think was up with the rest in terms of maybe slack of passing. Taking too many touches. I thought he was the only one that dropped off. But if I had to pick one out of that, I think Solanke with Matt. I think he linked up play really well, held it up. Never stopped running with the press as well in the first half. But it's not a great man of match to give. But if I had to give anyone, it'd be Solanke if I was forced to.
Yeah. Like when it comes to champagne moments, there were some beautiful champagne moments in that first half. Anything that stood out in particular for you, Matt?
I just think you got to give it to Johnson 6 and 6, didn't you? I think you have to take that champagne moment there for him.
Yeah.
Other than that, I thought he played all right. I think he should have done better with the chance when he was through 1-on-1. But other than that, I thought you have to give it to him.
Yeah, he's scoring goals. I mean, would he get your champagne, Tej?
Yeah, probably. I think he would. I think Vicario played really well in the first half with what he had to deal with. I thought his saves were good. Not necessarily a champagne moment, just a little shout out because we was playing so well. I think it kind of goes under the radar that he actually makes some really good saves. And something he does as well, that he gets the ball out of danger when he makes a save. Like it's always at wide or long or over the bar or something. Like it's never back into play. Which it's any shot like that comes at him. So yeah, just want to give a little shout out to him just because it happens. But yeah, Johnson all day long, 6 and 6. Right, the last person to do that for us was Harry Kane. So
yeah, crazy. Kev, would you agree with the boys?
Yeah, I mean, how it's turned around for him at the moment. Over in Hungary, I thought the crowd showed him a lot of love and affection. But he still doesn't seem happy with it. You can see it. The away section in Budapest was singing his name all the way throughout, and even after the game when he come over, the kid don't look happy. It's like even today. He scored a goal and he isn't going over there and celebrating in front of the fans. There's something happening there where he's still upset about the abuse he's got, and but he can only answer his critics by scoring goals. But the affection from him to us isn't really there, which is a shame because the away support in Budapest, and I'm sure the away support today, because I heard the Johnson song, which is a great Johnson song, by the way. I heard them singing it, and they're the real supporters who support the club, who follow the club home and away, who don't go on social media and abuse players for whatever reason. They get behind the team and get behind the players. And for that moment, taking his goal as well, it's another finger up to anyone who's decided to jump on a keyboard and be racist to him or call his family this, that and the other, or whatever they've been doing. It's another finger up. So, that'd be my champagne moment of him just saying, how about you can go fuck yourself because I'm here and I'm scoring your goal 6 and 6.
Yeah, mate, 6 and 6. Big love to him. And then here is the one that probably could have a couple of contenders. Matt, your dick of the day.
Can you get to Ndogi, mate? I thought second half, he was a shambles, man. Shambles. Like, that's not the Ndogi we know, man. That I didn't know what I was watching there, man. It felt like we had just, I don't know, Paolo Transmarini or whatever his name was back at left back, back in the day.
Tramazani.
Tramazani, that's his name. Horrendous, man.
Oh, mate. Yeah, I think it could be unanimous, this one. TJ, Adogi?
Yeah, I'm going to be very boring. I just feel like I've copied Matt's answers for this one. But yeah, Udogie, mate, he just wasn't there. I don't know what happened to him. It's like he had a fucking brain transplant during the half-time interval. He just lost all composure. His positioning was terrible. His tackling was bad. Just got run off the ball. I thought, do you know what? One thing I will say, I thought Matoma for them was good throughout the game. He was the one player I looked at and thought he's going to be a problem this game.
Yeah. Only top player they got for me. Only top player they've got, like individually.
He's quick. He was quick as well, rapid. He had the beating of Porro down that line, I think, every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, Udogie for that didn't turn up second half.
Udogie, Van der Ven, like you were mentioning, probably his worst game. Who is it for you?
I'll go with Udogie, but I was disappointed with Van der Ven. I thought that second half massively, just probably because of the bar he sets and the stand he sets normally. Udogie is not in that same bracket for me as being consistent. This is his second year. Right? Yeah, it's his second season, isn't it? And we saw a lot of them mistakes in his first season of, holding on to the ball and giving it away and making really immature mistakes. And I thought he might have just been getting over that a bit. In that second half, we saw the mistakes. We saw the immaturity in his play. But I thought he was probably the prime suspect in that game for losing his bollocks and losing his head and not being able to deal with the punches, that we call it, what Brighton were giving us. And it's a shame because he's a very, very good footballer and he's great going forward and he has had good defensive games. But he's one of them for me that might just get carried away with his own performance and maybe one of them going in at half-time thinking that he's won the game because he didn't really have much to do in the first half. So if anybody's going to learn from that, I think he should be prime suspect to learn that you go in half-time at 2-0 and doesn't mean you've won the game and doesn't mean you switch off. And you need to maybe have a bit of a tougher mentality as a fullback in a game away from home when you're 2-0 up and teams are going to come at you. So yeah, really, really disappointed with him today. I think he was probably the worst one out there for it. Do we put it down to experience? Maybe, I'm not sure. Do we put it down to his age? Another thing, but he'd be the first one that I'd grab around the neck if I was the gaffer at full time and have a word with him on the bus. Be sitting right next to him, fucking giving him a rock quality. All the way back.
All the way back. But I mean, that's it. There is a lot that's going right, but there is still an inconsistency that has to get right. And we can only hope. Look, we're away for 2 weeks now. We are the first Premier League game back after the international break. We're on against West Ham Saturday 12:30, which is on the 19th. So just a easy an easy London derby against one of our more favoured fan sets. I obviously am in sarcasm there, but I think there's a lot to take away from it, and I think there are some positives, but we have got some work to do. And just before I go on to talk about anything else, there is a positive over the weekend with Spurs. The under-21 team yesterday beat Arsenal 5-2 in Premier League 2 in PL2. So a little bit of a sunlight after a dark day. We beat Arsenal 5-2. Goals, 5 different scorers: Tyrese Hall, Max Robson, Callum Latif Alusey, Jaden Williams, and Maxwell McKnight, all scorers in the second half. We were 2-0 down at half time, the reverse of today. And we got 5 goals in the second half. So big love to the under-21 team. And again, I just want to say for the under-18 team, we beat Manchester United in the Premier League Cup yesterday, 4-3. Ellis Lahane got our first goal, but then there was a hat-trick. And I mentioned his name 4 times already. He's got a hat-trick. Luca, Jamie, Williams, Barnett. We've got to look out for this guy. I think I saw some images on Spurs Play about it. He looks a bit of a unit, but he is scoring goals. I mean, it's under 18, so he's obviously at the very, very start of his career. But because we keep mentioning his name, he keeps coming up. He's scoring more than 1 a game. Hat-trick again here. Look out for this guy. Wherever you can get some clips, if you do subscribe to Spurs Play, get on the under 18 games. Let us know what you know about him, because I need to see this guy in action. He's actually looking
Lee. I really love the fact that you do that and you find out things like that, because growing up as a Spurs fan as a kid and all that, I was always obsessed with Spurs young players, and you know, even at today's age, it still excites me to go and watch the under 21s, under 18s, and to listen out for these and be excited for what we could have next, you know. And really well done to you for keeping track of it, because I'm really into it myself. So hopefully he could be the next one for the future.
Oh, big time. Look, he's definitely one that, and also the women's team, when everything's about to start rolling there, we're definitely going to be talking about all these teams, because it's our club and we really want to make sure that every team at every level pushes on. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that throughout the season. I mean, we do have that little international break now, and it's never nice to go in with this, but at least there's a bit of a reset time, and we've got a good game at home to come back to. But that's at home. Before this, and you know, before the Brighton game today, there was a game away from home. It was in Budapest. Kev, how was it? Any stories, mate? It looked great. The pictures you sent through and we put up on the Insta, fantastic. You was on telly. TJ, you got the screenshot with you on telly. Brilliant.
Yeah, to be fair, that was thanks to Kev's missus. She sent it in our inbox. So
right, there you go. Brilliant.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
I didn't know she did that.
Yeah. She put it straight in our inbox, and I just stuck it straight up.
Yeah, she did message me and gone. She messaged me a random message going, "Are you supposed to be vaping in the stadium?" And I thought, "Fuck, does she know that?" And then obviously all the messages come through, and all the mates I was with were like, "Oh, we're on the fucking box," and all that. So yeah, that was interesting.
How was it, Kev?
But yeah, in terms of the trip, yeah, listen, nice place, very cheap. It's a good beer. You
would when you avoid rants.
What's that?
I bet anywhere it's cheap when you avoid buying rants.
I'll tell you what, now I rolled up my sleeves, mate. I got to the bar first a few times over there, actually, especially at £1.50 a pint. Started buying the governor one behind the jump, and all sorts. But yeah, like we had 2 nights over there, 2 good nights. The day of the game was a big drink. And when I come back Friday. Didn't drink Friday, and I mean I went and played football yesterday, and I said to the manager before the game, I said I'm still a bit fuzzy, you know, because of how much we had to drink over the weekend. So definitely put a lot of booze away. But yeah, listen, great match day experience. You know, I mean, Tej and Matt, I tell you, when you go abroad with Spurs, it's when you go to these sort of hostile places and places that you probably never go, you probably get that European feel within the stadium, and they're great trips. And then when you come out the ground, you've obviously, when you go into places like Budapest or Prague or wherever you're going, you've also got that sort of nightlife with it as well. And you know, I mean, there was so many Spurs over there. It was great to see a lot of people that I haven't seen for a long time. A lot of my dad's friends. Big shout out to Gordon Taylor, who I want to get on the podcast, because we spoke on a shuttle on the way back from the ground, and this guy goes everywhere with Tottenham, and I mean every single place, no matter where it is, he goes. And it'd be really good for the podcast when we talk about proper Spurs. For me, Gordon Taylor's in there, so I was trying to persuade him on the pod to get on. Doesn't really like his face being seen. He's not sure about being on camera, so we might have to change it for Gordon. But big shout out to him, Ryan Coon, Ricky Smart, Lee Rippengale, Brennan White, Andy Garner, little Ryan. There were so many people over there, which made the whole trip as good as it does. Because like I did say on a post on the podcast, that sometimes going away is okay, but if you're with the right company, it can be the best trips you'll ever make, and whether that's in this country or abroad. So really good time away. Budapest is a place I probably wouldn't go back. If I don't want to offend any Hungarians, but I didn't think they were too keen on the English in the aspects of everything, in terms of policing and stewardship and people nights out and everything else. So for that reason alone, I wouldn't be in a rush to go back, but maybe I would for the price of beer for a stag or something, maybe. But yeah, all round a really, really good trip, and you can't beat going away with Spurs in Europe. It's the best if you haven't done it before.
So you're going to Galatasaray then?
Why are we going Galatasaray? Because I've got a missus and kids. I've been asked so many times. In the Hungary, in Budapest, I was asked so many times if I'm going. I'm like, nah, but a lot of the boys are going, you know, probably haven't got, I'm not saying they haven't got a lot of responsibility, but it's for me, Galatasaray is a game, for me, that is, it can be really tricky over there and, you know, you can get caught up in the wrong stuff. So for me, at this time of my life, it isn't the one. If I didn't have what I have, I'd love to go over there. But Budapest wasn't so friendly either, by the way. Ferencváros, it was, I mean, it's a bit hostile over there as well. But Turkey, for me, at this time in life, is a no. But
Millwall played them years ago, didn't they? When they qualified for Europe, and it all kicked off everywhere out there.
What? Ferencváros?
Yeah.
So, a lot of the Millwall boys got bladed up as well. So it was there was a lot of talk about that over there. And old Bill even warned us when we was coming out the pubs miles away, like, you want to stick together because this ain't a fucking place you can go and muck about in. So straight away, I'll tell you what was funny. Let me tell you a quick story. Like, we was on the way. So my missus doesn't really know what places are like where we're going. I mean, she couldn't even tell you where fucking Budapest is. So we picked my mate up, Lee, and we were in the car on the way to the airport at Luton, and we're talking about it, about the away trip and all that. And Galatasaray come on the mention in the car, and I said, "Yeah, I won't be doing that." You know, he turns around when he's in the front of my missus. Turns around and goes, "Oh no, I've heard this is fucking naughty in Galatasaray, Kev." Straight away, like the missus look in the rear view, like, here we fucking go again. Can he be a good boy over there? Because obviously, a few times I've been away abroad hasn't ended up perfect. So as soon as he dropped that, I was like, fucking hell, Lee. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I went with you this time, so that's already makes her feel 50% better.
A little bit. As soon as I got out of the car, do you know what I mean? I was waiting for the old phone to go, fucking be a good boy and all that. But yeah, we kind of stayed away from it, to be honest. And you know, the old Bills sort of keep you in and they try and protect you a bit over there. So yeah, a good trip all in all. And it's just a shame because I've had a good last 3 or 4 days. Has really been blessed with Spurs and everything else, and had a good weekend coming back. And today's been kind of the shitter on the whole thing. But yeah, like I said, if you haven't been abroad like these boys have been abroad, if you haven't been abroad with Spurs, fucking wherever it is, go, because you'll enjoy yourself.
Kev, I see on TikTok. I saw on TikTok there was quite a few issues when everyone was collecting tickets in there.
Oh, don't ask me. Absolutely mental.
What actually happened there? It was chaos.
So, you know, the way it works abroad is every country's different. So with this one, you were let through there was a first meeting point in a fucking park, a local park that you had to go to get onto a shuttle. What a lot of Spurs done is they missed that first one and just didn't bother with the shuttle and ended up getting a metro or cab or whatever they did to a second meeting point, which basically the second meeting point is you're showing your ID to Hungarian stewards and police to then let you into like a gravel, like the back of the stadium is like a gravel path where you then go and collect your tickets. But what Spurs have done previously in situations like this is they've opened this meeting point for you to go and collect your tickets all day on a match day. What Spurs fucked up here was they only done it from 3 till 6. And so you had every sort of Spurs fan turning up at 3 o'clock. 12, I would say there was about 1,000 there out of 1,200, maybe 1,100. So you had 1,100 Spurs fans going to one gazebo with one steward handing out envelopes with names on. And so if you can imagine going to like a beer festival or something and you have the gazebo in a tent, this is how it was like. And you had 1,000 Spurs fans screaming for their tickets because they're in a rush to not only get in the ground, but to have a beer. There was no order. You know, Spurs really fucked up with the way it was. And it was a mad rush. They even tried to do the tickets in like an alphabetical A to C, D to E, or F to H or whatever. And even that didn't work. And it was just an absolute free-for-all. So for how much I want to slag Spurs off for the way they did it, I really felt sorry for the stewards that travelled over there and had to work under them circumstances of being able to do that because they suffered a lot of abuse, a lot of aggressive people, probably been on the piss all day as well, you know, trying to grab tickets, trying to push through. There was no order, no queue and line. People were fucking wanting to fight each other. It was a really shambles on Tottenham's part of the way they organised it. And Spurs' defence will probably be, well, you know, we've got liaison with the police and and the Hungarian football team of how they want to do it. But yeah, it was an absolute shit show, which for some reasons I can't disclose probably worked in my favour for some things, if I can be honest. So I won't slag it off too much, but for the man who just wanted to go in there and get his ticket quick, it was an absolute nightmare. But once we got down, we got the tickets, we got the beers in, and then it was great after that.
Brilliant. And I guess then, lads, we have got 2 weeks to our next game. It is a while away. I mean, James Coop said about Sonny, we don't know if he's back. He wants him back immediately. But what we have got next is West Ham at home. It's very early doors, but Matty, TJ, Kev, I'm going to ask you all, starting with you, Matt. How do you see the game plan out based on what happened today? And what is your early prediction of a result?
Mate, you asked me at 5:15, I'll tell you you're going to go and beat West Ham about 10-0, mate. You asked me that. I don't want to answer it.
10-0.
Mate, I've come out on time. Mate, I thought we'd take on anyone. I thought we'd bring on anyone. And then that, I'm like, this is going to eat me up over the international break as well, this performance. I know about it.
It's the same. I feel exactly the same, man. Fucking.
But you know what? I'm going to go Spurs 2-1. I'm going to go Spurs 2-1. It's 2-1.
We'll have it.
Oh, yeah, I ain't going to lie quickly. At half time, the way that football's played, I'm thinking, you know what? If we play like this and go in the top 4, we could have a go next year. I was like, proper like fucking gone with it. I mean, that breathtaking for me. I was like, I think we could fucking sweep up this year, you know. By 90 minutes, I'm thinking, no, it could be top 12 now. I'm not sure.
Listen to this one. A Spurs fan, Michael Ford, he listens to the pod. He's from TikTok, right? He messaged me at half time saying, this is Champions League form, you know. I'll put, it's a total challenging form, 6 out of 6. Like, and then at full time, I didn't respond to his message.
Oh, God. It's a hope that kills you, right? But it's a hope that keeps you going. TJ, have you got hope that we'll beat West Ham?
I hope the fucking missus ain't making an apple crumble next week. Fucking. Oh,
yeah, tell us to do the beef stew at like 4 or 5 o'clock. Not an early dinner.
We're eating late. No, listen. For some reason, I just feel like that will be a bit of a kick up the arse. Listen. It's a derby. It's the third derby in the way we look at things, but it's still a big one and it's an annoying one. I always say when I've been on this podcast, annoying West Ham fans are annoying because they're just noisy and they just sit in the background like your little brother telling you how to fucking play his computer games. And all that. I've done that 10 years ago, mate. Fuck off. Like, seriously. Anyway, so with West Ham, I always just find them annoying. And I hate the annoyance of it. But I think that will be a spark. I think Ange will fucking hammer them. I think the annoying thing, and I mean this so much that it could actually even have an impact on how we perform because it will be so forgotten about, is that there's an international break. Like I say, when you have that result, you just want to go back again and go, fucking this, put that right. And then you can go back to training all together, work on the things, you get fucking slated by Ange and you go back out and perform. That's not going to happen. They're going to go, they have a debrief tomorrow probably, have a couple of training sessions, and they're off for their internationals. So it's all forgot about. But I think they'll come back, and I do think, all that being said, the derby factors will play in. Spurs will be up for it more. I think West Ham haven't been great this year. Again, form goes out the window, though, so all this plays into it. But I still think we'll come out on top, mainly because it's at home, more than anything else at the moment. And I think it'll be tight. I think it'll be 3-2. There's been a few 3-2s between us and West Ham over the past few years, and I think it'll be 3-2 Spurs.
Big scoring game. Kev, do you see it as many goals as that? I mean, there are lots of goals in our games.
I don't know. I mean, what TJ said there was spot on. Apart from maybe, I'm not sure about the score. But in terms of form going out the window and Postecoglou not being able to drag them in tomorrow, and fucking absolutely. I mean, as a coach, when you have a performance like that, the worst thing is that the players go away for a bit. I mean, he would love to get them in tomorrow and sit them down in that debrief room with that big screen on and absolutely fucking dig everyone out, which is a shame that he won't be able to do that because I think they need that. I think this West Ham game it will be a perfect game for us to see if we've learned any resilience and character and being able to punch back, as we keep saying it, because West Ham will come for a fight. And I'm not talking about off the pitch. Well, there's that as well, but I'm talking about on the pitch as well. It's a game that we might need just to see where we are and how we bounce back from a disappointing result where we lost character and we lost bravery, because it won't be an easy game against West Ham. And for me, against West Ham at home or away, I think you can take whatever win you can get, because it is a hostile derby. West Ham could be as shit as you like, bottom of the league, but if they win, if they come to us, they will put in a performance, and it'll be down to us to see if we match that. And it will come down to heart and character and how much you want to beat West Ham. And we should, because there is a gulf in quality in the two sides. So, I can't really predict at the moment. I've got, like TJ, I've got to go for a narrow win if I had to go for one. But I want to see character in that game and fight first and foremost.
Let's hope so, mate, because as a good follower of the show and listener, viewer, Mason says, it's the hope that kills you with this club. And lads, it's been good to talk this afternoon or this early evening, even though it's been tough, because there are some positives. But now we've got an international break. It's horrible, but we're going to come back after and beat West Ham, and we'll move on. The run of Premier League fixtures, not the worst. I've got to be honest, not the worst. I know we go to City away, but outside of that, I think it runs pretty much all right for us.
Yeah, some decent fixtures there.
Yeah, I think we've got
plus the Europa League. That's looking really tasty, man. I'm enjoying that a lot at the moment.
Really good. I mean, but after the international break, we got the 12:30 with West Ham. We're then at home 5 days later on the Thursday night against AZ in the Europa League. We go to Palace away on the Sunday. We've got the big tie against Man City in the League Cup on the Wednesday, October the 30th. Then into November, it's at home against Villa, away to Galatasaray, at home again to Ipswich in the Premier League. Those two home games, when you play those home games back to back, they're so important. I think they're going to be really key for us. Man City away on the.
Do you remember on the group chat when we were talking about the Galatasaray thing, we was having that debate? Can you see on today's second half performance us going to Galatasaray and winning in that hostile kind of reception? When you look at bravery and bollocks. Sorry, I know I've come away off topic here.
Yeah, no. Specifically looking at what you've just said, definitely not. But I stand by what I've said, that a Tottenham playing the Tottenham way, there's not a team in that fucking competition that comes anywhere near us. Like we're like even Roma, your Lazios, your Romas, Ajax, we're better than all those teams. Like,
are we favourites in Europa? Are we favourites in Europa at the moment?
We're favourites in this country, but we tend to be because everyone, like all the booking, everyone backs the English clubs.
Are we favourite overall?
Yeah, we are. So for anyone that is a bit of a stat-o, there's something called the Euro Club Index. So if you go euroclubindex.com, and that uses like historical match results and current form, and then like legacy stuff to talk about like whose expectations of winning stuff. And Tottenham are favourites in that competition. I think they're 30% favourites, based on like past results and competitions and stuff like that. But we have been we was favourites in the Conference League. Do you know what I mean? We just didn't take it serious.
Do you not think, no points, if we beat AZ, we've won 9 points, and he might concentrate more on the league? Do you know what I mean? So the Galatasaray, he won't go full strength. Like we're going to pull this slip up in this group stage, and that might be the one. I
think he'll focus on the home games, and I think he'll do what he did like exactly as we predicted. To be fair, that he would make. I said he shouldn't, but he will make wholesale changes, and he did at Ferencvaros. And I think he'll do the same for Galatasaray, especially if we beat AZ.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be interesting, lads. And let's say we've got it there. It's just gotta be tweaked, and there are gonna be bumps in the road. We said this. This is one of them now. For all the good things that have been coming recently, we've still got things to improve.
Lee, but that bump in the road at 2-0 down and 3-2. I mean,
it's horrible, bruv. It's horrible. But
it reminds me of remember the Man City 4-3, 3-0 up after half time, and the Man United game 5-3. Them sort of games, we really need to get out of that. And I can take bumps in the road, but being 2-0 up at half time, being in control of the game it was, I mean, that's a huge bump, and we really need to sort that out.
I believe we will. I believe in this team. There's so much quality in it that it's hard not to just to know that it's just those moments of concentration, resilience, determination, calmness,
Lee,
composure.
if the transfer window was open tomorrow, what do you think this team needs? Because if
Get
we're
number
still in
6,
this round into
a
January,
wise head.
who would you look at to go and get?
Do you know what? I don't know. I can't say I know a name off the top of the hat, but I'd like to probably get in somebody who's just a bit wise, who's just going to be able to come in, bit of a winner where they've been, and probably towards the end of their career, and just is able to come in. And
James Milner about.
Oh mate, fuck yeah! No, he gives you 110%. Oh yeah. Anyway, fuck yeah.
Steve Perryman's still playing,
yeah. Fucking get him in. Could have done with him at the back in the second half.
Yeah, fucking hell. Stefan Freund, anyone got his number? Fucking hell, but
no, don't take the piss now, Lee.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch, Stefan. No, lads, absolute pleasure as always. Thanks for everybody. There's been tons of people on Instagram, tons of people on the YouTube, on the Facebook. Again, don't forget, we go live now with all our podcast recordings. So whether you're still listening to us on the traditional sense, which we love, we're on Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you get your podcast. But we are also across all our social platforms. That's Instagram, that's Facebook, and that's YouTube. So, yeah, we will be back after the international break and after West Ham with hopefully a much more positive outlook. But for myself, Matty, Kevin, TJ, this has been the Heart Now Here Spurs Fans Podcast. Keep the faith. Enjoy the international break if you can. We'll see you after West Ham. Come on, you Spurs.
Where's your caravan? Where's your caravan?